Money, The Dirty Picture, English for English, and other films in that genre recently. Women-centric films have now emerged as successful at the box office and more acceptable to mainstream cinema and distributors. Is there a key formula to this happening? Why has it taken over 100 years for us to reach this point where women-centric films can be seen as not an exception, but an increasingly common phenomenon? Does cinema and entertainment need to be more sensitive? Does it need to rewrite its language to be more gender sensitive in keeping with the demands of the day? Do you feel that the censor board guidelines that say no violence against women will be shown, not even a slap, is that going too far? Is that being too politically correct? And then there's the age-old issue of item numbers in Bollywood and Indian commercial cinema, and the whole idea of treating women as commodities. Is that wrong? Is that going to change? Is there a fine line between being gender sensitive and moral policing? All these issues and more we hope to explore with our panelists. And would they please come up one by one? First we have Andrea Costabir, who is the editor of Savvy. Please come and stay, Andrea. 5 years after joining the magazine, Andrea became the youngest editor of Savvy. She went on to launch Savvy Fashion and Glamour and relaunched Savvy Cookbook. She has a great work balance of a happy home and marriage and work, and her children Storm and Tsunami. Obviously, quite a typhoon in the house, but she is living proof that a woman can have the best of both worlds. Andrea Costabir. And then we have Juneja, the actor, producer, director. She's come on stage. Kiran shot to fame as Veerawali in Bunyad, has written and directed the telefilm Antardvand, and a variety of television shows, including the Kiran Juneja show for Star Plus. She is married to Ramesh Sippy, the maker of the fabled blockbuster Sholay, and she continues to act and is involved in production and direction. Welcome, Kiran Juneja. We have Bhandarkar. Bhandarkar, winner of multiple national awards. Mother, please come on stage. We've got a string of women-centric films to his credit: Chandni Bar, Page 3, Corporate, Fashion, working with great actresses like Tapu, Ravina Tandon, Priyanka Chopra, Bipasha Basu, Kangana Ranaut, Konkana Sen. And he's a man who I respect greatly because, firstly, because of his love for cinema, secondly, because he came up the hard way, and thirdly, because he has achieved great success and respect in his profession, Madhur. And then we have Meena Iyer, editor of the Bombay Times. Meena is a prolific writer, renowned both for the felicity of her pen as well as a nose for hard news. She is applauded for the forthright views as well as her accuracy in reporting. Her illustrious career in journalism started with Star and Style and has taken her to the highly coveted job of the editor of the Bombay Times. So please welcome all our panelists. And of course, my co-presenter and co-moderator, Pradhan, who is, apart from being my co-moderator, one of the forces behind this event, who I liaise most closely with in putting it together. So I have many reasons to be grateful to her. And let's begin the discussion. Bharathi, do you want to lead off with the question, or shall I?
I think
Let me, hello. Let me start the ball rolling by asking Madhur. Who do you make films for? Do you have primarily a female audience in mind, or is it for a wider audience but with a female-centric focus?
Good morning, everybody. First and foremost, I think film is only not for, I would think it's basically for everybody. When you make a film, in fact, I started my career with a male-oriented cinema, which was a Rottweiler cinema, which was three-shifting. Very few people have seen the movie. And it just came and went without a number. So then I thought, okay, why not make a woman-friendly cinema? And I remember those days, I was talking about 2000. So producers were very apprehensive about making a film on women-centric, and there were multiplex just emerging at that time. It's a very early stage of multiplex culture. So people were very apprehensive to make and to put a budget of 1.5 crore for the film. So I said, okay, why not make a film? Because see, public perception is like that way where we can see a big star film with 200 rupees. Why would we see a women-friendly cinema for that same price? So that was the initial thing about it. Anyway, it was the budgeted film. Chandni Bar happened, and obviously it was critical acclaim, box office success, national award, everything. So when you make a film, you make a film for everybody, people relate to and people connect to.
When you made Chandni Bar, did you think I'm making this film for women, or was it I genuinely want to make this for everybody? It's a woman's story, and a tragic and heroic woman's story.
Chandni Bar happened to see the story behind it. Chandni Bar, I would like to elaborate, but still, because Chandni Bar, the way I started researching the subject, going to the bars, meeting with barbers and all, so it gave me a very emotional high about the trauma, the turmoil they have gone through in their life and how they. So that's the reason I just felt it with this story angle. So this segment, this area, nobody has seen it, nobody knows about this area. How they have been deprived and how they are in the bar. And that's how the idea came to me. And obviously, when I made the movie, definitely first thing I wanted to make a film because I made a movie Tri Shakti and just went and my career was completing. Obviously, was written that day. Tri Shakti, very warm. So I want to make a film because I don't come from a filmy background. I come from absolutely a middle class family guy. So I just want to make a film for survival, one, and definitely a subject which I felt it very emotionally connected with.
Right. When you're survival at stake, you really have to make things that you believe in, because otherwise you won't survive to make the next film.
But I want to ask you something. Tri Shakti means Tri Shakti.
Yeah, Tri Shakti, yeah.
And that became your forte.
Yeah.
But do you think there is this tendency to maybe take subjects like bar dancers or models or actresses, which give you room for a lot of glamour and titillation and stuff like that, which is the formula?
No, it is not like that. I don't think so. Glamour. If you say about glamour, I will say fashion, heroine. Chandni Bar was glamorous, but if you see corporate and a pastry where journalists is very much in a chudidar and jeans and kurti. So I don't think so. It is about the glamour. I feel the subject which attracts to me. I mean, this is Satta also, Ravina Tandon. It was a film of a politician. So it is about the subject which I feel. And I maybe because I felt it on a Chandni Bar, this is my forte, or this is my zone, or this is my area which I was looking at. Everybody wants to invent something in life. And I felt that this is more comfortable with me to go in this area and explore different kind of a segment of society. And which I've been successful from Chandni Bar to heroin. I think it's been a great journey for me.
But when you say society, you mean basically women's stories, isn't it? Because you tried one jail in between which
Yeah.
So you tend to get drawn to women's subjects?
Yeah, I think it's because I think nobody makes first and foremost, nobody makes women-centric cinema. It's very difficult. And initially from last 2 years, I would say Kahani, Dirty Picture, and we started. Otherwise, it was very few people who want to make. See, there's no story for this. People doesn't want to invest so much of money. Like I said, okay, now since corporates have come, the multiplex is flourishing everywhere. So there is a leverage where you feel your team can invest money and you can make it a budget. My success mantra has always been from Chandni Bar to the budget. I control the budget. I always make film with budget, and even a film like Satta, which did pretty typically highly active didn't do well, it was a break-even film. So ultimately, down the lane, I know that you make women-centric cinema, but you have to make in a very limited budget.
But is that because a lot of women's films tend to be small budget because you cannot have a big budget women's film?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I will just say, slowly, like I said, from Chandivar I made 1.5 crore film. Here I made Heroine at 21 crores. Like I said, career's costume was only 1.5 crore in the film. So definitely when you make such cinema, I have grown. I mean to say, I made my whole career on women-centric cinema, commercially, critically, in terms of match level, everything. So I feel this is my forte and I'm comfortable with it. And again, I would like to say, it is not like that I am going to stick to this women-centric cinema. I can make, it's not about the gender, it is about the subject, which I think I am more comfortable. This is like jail I tried. I felt it feels okay, it can be 2 men. And then later I realized maybe I should have put 2 women in the jail. And later.
Right. I'm going to ask Andrea how you've seen the evolution of women's roles in film over the years. Have you seen the kind of image projected by women in film change over the years, and in what ways?
Hi everybody, good morning. Thanks Kabir. I think the role of women, not just in cinema but even in real life, has evolved very well over the years. We do have, stray incidents that keep happening, but on the whole, the urban women especially, the urban woman is, she's really taking on, challenges very well and is evolving very well. I mean, I see it even through Savvy, through our own magazine, the kind of women that we write about, both on the cover and inside. Women have changed. They are more. They are gung-ho actually. They are gung-ho about life, and they are quite. There's not much of a gender divide any longer. That's the way I look at it.
Kiran, we've seen how even the old thing where Helen used to dance and perform the item numbers, etc. Then the heroines themselves have taken all the item numbers, and the vamp has virtually disappeared from Indian cinema. Is this because the senses have become more relaxed about things like that, or is it because society has changed? How do you see it?
I think it's not to do with the censors, because the censors are allowing it now and they were allowing it then. It's only that at that time there was a very demarked positioning, as in there was a heroine and there was a man. The heroine had this very specific characterization where she was the Sati Savitri, as we call it. So not allowed to wear clothes which were extremely, exposing, not to do those kind of vulgar movements, which were left then for the vamp who would fill in that slot and complete the cinema, as you call it, in its commercial.
So what changed? What changed that allowed the heroines to?
I think what changed is we started accepting a lot more exposure, a lot more body skin show, as you call it, because it's also happened in daily life. We do find girls today wearing, the young girls today, 16, 17, 14, 15, wearing shorts and stringy tees and walking around on the roads, which we've accepted as a part of life. And we are comfortable with it today.
So it's no longer just the bad girls who wear
Right. So what has happened is that today we do not need a separate identity who will perform or take over that role. See, we make cinema for entertainment. Okay? We're not sitting here on a moral bench and trying to say, okay, we're teaching morality. That's the churches and the priests and whatever. So obviously every producer who sits and makes a film has to see that it's wholesome, entertaining, and it satisfies every kind of audience, because we have different kind of audiences here. We have the front benchers, we have a single cinema screen, and we have multiplexes. And a producer wants to make the film the best that he can.
Right. Meena, can I ask you? one of you chronicled a lot of people over the years. Is there any significant reason why women-centric films have sort of become more noticeable, more center stage today? Is it because times have changed, or because there just happen to be a bunch of good scripts that came at the same time?
First of all, just having a woman character at the center of the plot doesn't make it woman-centric, according to me. So, people are calling Dirty Picture woman-centric. It's not woman-centric. It's a story of a cabaret girl, not inspired by her. So obviously it's a woman. But they show her exploitation and they show her commit suicide in the end. So it's not really something to celebrate. It doesn't. I think something like English that we had is more woman-centric and gives empowerment to the woman. And on the other hand, of course, like you said, maybe because we have more multiplexes and more avenues now to show our cinema, we are able to make varied subjects. So Madhur is one of the, ones who, the filmmaker who started this trend of having women at the center of his subjects. So, which is nice. So that is one of the reasons. But if you ask me, empowerment of woman was there in Mother India.
Of course.
Yeah, it was there in Mirch Masala. It was there in Zakhmi Aurat. It was there in Khoon Bari Maan. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, it's not... Yes. The man in the swimming pool with Sonu Walia.
I'll push you to
The bikinis are back.
मतलब ये जो कहते हैं इंडस्ट्री में कि हेरोइन बिकती नहीं, the distributors that say this, or the financiers that say यार पिक्चर बना रहे हैं लेकिन लड़कियां बिकती नहीं, हेरोइन बिकती. Is that true anymore?
When 10 years back, definitely there was this kind of doctrine which they thought that heroine bikti nahi, correct.
Bikti in the sense of the picture won't sell.
So they say that, like I said, that there's a blockage. That time, not now anymore, because since now corporates are there, people are making film. Earlier it was this myth that heroine bikti nahi hai, और उतना ही पैसा आ जाता है, फिल्म मेकिंग तो उतनी होती है, या you spend the same amount of labor, money, everything. Why not make it a male-oriented cinema only? If बड़ा स्टार को देखने के लिए वही पैसा देना पड़ता है, फीमेल सेंट्रिक देने के लिए वही देना पड़ता है. So that was a myth, but since I'm seeing from last 10 years, there is tremendous amount of change. And again, I'm telling you, the whole mantra is that only, sir, if you control the budget of women-centric cinema, which is very essential. This is which I have developed 10 years like I made film. You have to make it a controlled budget. You can't go over budget on the film, then it is a loss-making proposal. If you control the budget and make it a budget where you feel you're comfortable, and you can, and today since multiplexes is there, so people want to go and watch movie. And
which means you're talking about a budget only when it comes, small budget only when it comes to women's film. Because in Ekta Tiger you don't even talk about a budget. But you can't make an Ekta Tiger with a woman. That kind of budget won't sell.
I agree with it. Let's accept the fact that when you make a women-centric cinema, there is a budget constraint to it. It's completely a film industry which is male-oriented.
We just have to accept that.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be practical about it. I mean to say, like Kabir Sunset was there, Khoon Bari Maan. There was Nagina, I remember, the Sri which did very well in the 80s, which did Zakhmi Aurat. Those were the time, but it was in very fringes. It was. Similarly, Shamji, if you see, he made Bhumika, he made Ankur, he made Nishan. But again, those were very niche. Very niche it was. It was not. But today, you get a release very worldwide and you get huge amount of, theatres, I would say. That is like Heroine got released in 1,300 theatres. It was huge, I would say. So people do tend to have that kind of release. And obviously when a director has a credibility of, and the combination of actors, so it doubles in terms of the theatre, in terms of the popularity.
Let me say that, the image of the heroine has changed over the years from the 50s, 60s, and part of the 70s, where there were really a great emphasis on being Sati Savitris, to today, where the heroines are in a sense, almost deliberately more provocative, more revealing, more visually pleasing to look at in certain ways, because of great emphasis on makeup and clothes and modern fashion and their prevalence in the media, which has exploded over the years. But at the same time, society itself has changed, and women have taken a much more central role, or increasingly central role, in being breadwinners, in getting jobs, in sharing household duties, in
getting men into the kitchen.
in getting men into the kitchen. It's a great way of scoring brownie points, by the way. So the question is that changing reality of the Indian woman, at least in the cities, reflected in our cinema? What's your feeling, Meena?
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree with you that, you know, we get better-looking women on screen now. Everyone's into size 0, and the focus wasn't there. You know, earlier it wasn't that. I mean, whether it was your heroine was more curvaceous and full-fledged and didn't really want to wear the mini and the bikini. But that also, like I said, is a time, how society has changed, how society has evolved, the Western influence. So cinema can't escape that, just like we can't escape it. So it's more a reflection of the time.
Kabir, is it okay with you? Some people want to ask a couple of questions. Are you alright with that?
Yes,
Somebody wants to ask a question. If you can just put up your hand.
Okay, I was thinking of saving it to the end, but we can have it in
Why is
the
that?
middle.
Somebody wants to cross-examine something.
Sure.
No, the gentleman there.
Why is that savvy women are always battered, bruised? It's okay. Why are savvy women always battered, bruised? Isn't that a typecast again?
Who is this question to?
Any one of you, any of the panel.
What is the question? Why?
Savvy editor.
Savvy editor in terms of journalism and one of the filmmakers.
I don't think the savvy woman is battered and bruised. You must read Savvy more often to realize that she's battering and bruising the others.
I think what Savvy really talks about is women who have been able to overcome their problems, whether it's domestic violence or whatever other area, and come out winners. So basically to show the winner, I think it's very important to show what she has gone through. So you do read that aspect of women being battered, but it's not really the end of the story. The end of the story is that she comes out a winner.
Wow,
Madhur to say about it. What does Madhur to say about this?
Can you tell us the question again? Madhur and Meena would like to answer that as well.
I said, why is that a woman-oriented film or a woman thing has always to be battered, bruised, and then she emerges?
No, not necessary. She can give 5 roles.
Yeah, but she has to fight after she's been bashed.
It's not like that. See, ultimately it's a film. Yeah, you think in that manner. We always show, obviously, the good thing happened in the film also. So that's not over here. Hollywood also, they should. I don't think so. Ultimately, she's a winner in the end. That is more essential.
And that's true of men also. I mean, men are also battered and bruised in films, and then they must triumph.
The underdog. Basically, it's the underdog. It's the triumph of the underdog.
No, but why does every film have to show an item number, a woman in a skimpy clothes? I mean, for a movie to be a success, like you had this special 26 or you had English Winglish. These were movies that were quite well accepted, and it clearly showed that you don't need sex and violence for a movie to be successful. In fact, okay, I don't say you.
But then your question is wrong. You said, why do you need it in every film? And you're answering it.
I'm asking you why is it necessarily thought that movies have to have an item number?
Now, before anyone answers that, let me say this is actually one of the topics that we are coming to. Let's come to it now, I don't mind. Because the item number has always had a very sacrosanct place in the history of Bollywood. But in these more politically correct times, we have now to really sit and ask. And we'll ask, I think, all people on the panel, as to what happens to the item number. Is it seen as vulgarly commodifying women? Is it harmless entertainment? Or is it like what the censor board is doing right now, which is actually censoring individual songs as to whether they're fit for television or not? So there's the latest guidelines on that. So there's a whole sea change happening. Let me start with Madhur.
No, but unfortunately, you see, in these degenerative times, it is unnecessarily titillating the masses.
One second, madam, one second.